here and a double down against Chiefs. Or Chiefs, can you give OCE that win before you head on home?
That is that big question. And of course, we'll be both teams will be having plenty of support for this matchup here. So as the bands are slowly coming in, let us see how they will evolve. Now it is Clubhouse, and we do see a Maverick and a Hibanagon. Who would have guessed that we would see some hard breachers to be banned, and on the defense maybe a Cade. Oh, who would have guessed that one? And now, okay, for a second there, they were really happy for the Cade ban, and it's the other game that's going on. I was like, what's going on there? But no, maybe a Mira, maybe a Valk. There we go. Valk indeed to be sent home as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard removal. In fact, if we have the comparison with the removals from the last time we were here, which was the Hibana, the Castle, and then the Mav and the Bandit. So, similar but different. Similar but different. Obviously, the Castle is still in play. The Bandit and the swap out for the Kaid. Slightly different ways of holding it, slightly different ways of applying that pressure between each other. What lessons were learnt before? Well, the score ended up being the 7-4 to Chiefs. Not to Chiefs, against Chiefs. My apologies, it was a Wolves win.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
And let's see if they can repeat that here. It is well, our very final game, but also the very final game for these two teams here in the group stages. And if you don't know, support them in the R6 Share program.
There's so many great skins.
There's so many great skins.
There's a Cyclops skin.
There's a Cyclops skin as well. I really love that one. It looks so simple, but like
that was clean. It was a good batch of skins.
It's a good
batch. If you were a farmer and you've grown up these plants and those are the skins that pop out, you'd be like, this is a good batch of skins. I
didn't know that farmers grew skins nowadays.
Well, you can grow cool decals, aesthetics. You can grow those.
I mean, they need to be sold somehow, right? Like they need to come from somewhere.
How else do you think we get enough for all you wonderful people? But we've always got more, so make sure you check out all the share skins.
Exactly. Support your favorite team directly with your purchase there.
P4 supported getting shot in the face. Very quick to the fight. Shinka's suffering as well. Look at this. Wolves 3, 2, 1, go. And they made sure they're going to put the pressure instantly towards the site. Suddenly, all the Chiefs players that are on a bit of a roam might need to try and come back. You can see Mowgli's in a position to catch them if they go a bit further. But Ethan is in a better one. Shinka is caught out from the vertical. A great take and kill there all the way from the top. And that puts them in a tricky situation. Wolves, do you keep the pressure hot? Do you keep trying to fight your way through onto the site? Or do you see if you can try and put the pressure upwards? You can see Ethan is trying to make them find him a double here over the top. He's having a great time. P4 bites back. Rise knocks on the door, says hello, and they say, well, unfortunately, goodbye there. Rise around the corner. It's a 3 versus 3 and a plant attempt now. They made the decision. Let's instead put the pressure onto the site itself. They're swinging around the pre-fire so Ethan can get himself down, and it's post-plant very quickly by the third box. They're looking for the fight there over to the door of dirt. You can see the rotation there from bouncing right in the core, and they still have the player above. Now, is there going to be a little bit of a swing around the corner? They're lying down. There's a foot. There's a player. There's a death. There's a trade. Round to the backside. Rise is the cover. They're now stacked up. You can see the Chiefs rotate onto the main double door all the way through. But it's Bibu to catch off that last little spark inside blue. The reveal on Digital's position comes through. He just sees a sliver of a Wolves player. Gets one. Gets two. I thought it was down. It was a grenade.
Wanted to get that final kill. He chased it with the shotgun. The Jackson coming in. Literally's just putting a hand on the head. He's like, what's going on? What was this game? It's so chaotic to start off with.
That was a happy birthday, coach.
It's a happy birthday round. Here we're here to give you a rough last game on the major stage. Try and talk sense into us as soon as we go for the technical timeout. Wolves very quick there actually. They lost some of the early engagements, but you know what? That's fine. You can just hit the site and you can just go for the plant at that moment. So unfortunate the timing right there, the smiles. It's all there. And CCTV was also going to be the next site that we will head to here as the Chiefs will proceed to go that way.
Okay, that was a way of starting it. That was a way of bringing a little bit of that, energy that you need, I guess, in your closing game because. You know, we talk about what they can learn, we talk about the fun spirits of this, but also they know this is their last hurrah on this stage. And they want to make sure they sort of stick to it and show a little bit of fun, show a little bit of extra. When there's nothing else really to play for at this moment in time, you're just playing a good old-fashioned game of Siege.
Not quite a ranked game because we're not.
No,
at the
there's no
ranked
elo
servers,
here.
right? There's no elo to be gained. Well, to some extent, I guess points in some sorts.
Everyone here is champion,
Rating systems, but everybody here is a champion
apart
indeed.
from Des.
I
Gold
can
2.
call a couple extra people that are in the champion in
Cop
that case.
it.
Cop
The
it, definitely
admin.
not.
We've like
If he's a champion, he's definitely carried.
by the other admins
By
who
the
are
other
all
admins.
deserving champions. All right, Wolves, you went with a lot of base here early on. P4, the Amaru, making sure they get up there quick. Look at this, though. They're sort of, they're procuring an idea, and that idea is more base. They're waiting, though. They don't want to give the game away that they're entirely there. They're shooting out that close window. There's the burn on the Aruni gate and a disc that goes to catch a grenade that might try and find its way. Rises deep. But I don't know if he's fully getting the catch. It's the Thatcher over the top. The grenade goes deep. Digital takes a lot of damage. The Bandit's still in play. He's going for the catch. He doesn't get it, and he doesn't have a route out. No, the door was soft, but he just finds an escape. Mowgli's in. They're locked out. There's a couple for Chiefs over the side. A 3 versus 3, a cold kit. P4 burns through the gate, gets it back up, and it's suddenly a couple of Wolves kills come through onto their favor. There's a lot of damage that's done to them, though. A hop out from Ethan reveals his position. There's the rotate round from Lounge, the pre-fire, and the fight at the finger who can hold this all day. And there it is. Ethan's trying to hammer home. Can't get the full connection. A spray towards the planter. Worthy, they know where he is. They're going to keep pre-firing because that's what Finker can do. A post-plant in just as much time as the first round, and that we've done it all within a minute. There's the second that hops over. They're down, and suddenly it's a triple for Worthy. 30 seconds. He still has a lot of health. Mowgli doesn't, but he does have 2 grenades. He's tucked in around the corner, pre-firing the angles and trying to find the fight early. There's the spray, there's the soft, and there's a fleeing Frenchman who's getting out of there because he knows the cost. The pistol round, there's the pop, and there is a quad for Mowgli.
I don't know if you heard that, but well, it seems like the round will be over very soon. There's a bit of confusion going on, but it's 2-0. We can put that one on the board there.
Wolves are going so fast, even the game is confused.
The game is confused about
even
what's
the game
happening
is
there.
confused.
I don't know if you heard them scream in the background.
I heard what the?
What the bleep?
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't say it, isn't it?
That was a truck that was driving by.
Yeah, that was one of the construction vehicles that went by.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 rounds in a minute.
I just want to say, if you're wondering how serious Wolves is taking this game, P4 is right next to the window, standing next to the window. He just Gara hooked in. So I mean that gives something
did
away.
he?
Yeah, he Gara hooked in the window. He was right. He was 10 meters away from me. He was on the same level. Could have just jumped in and used his gun, but he's setting no speed, and he just he just went for the Gara hook. I was able to get kills to the back of it. That's why I was shouting. He's doing it. What the
because
hell?
the breach was they tried to get away after bandit tricking, but they'd softened the door towards red.
Exactly.
So he had to punch through, probably screaming.
Yes, most likely. A slight scream of panic within that one. But no, he decided to just Gara hook through the window. So for a second I was afraid he would do it when the serial laser gate was still there, but no, they burned that first, and then they Gara hook first.
and then they do the flat Gara. This is going to be one of them games.
Oh, it's definitely going to be one of those games.
A quick technical as we get the lobby remade. This pause is the longest.
Yeah, it takes longer than any of the rounds.
Is as long as the game that we've had so far. We're 2 rounds in, if you've missed it. I'm not entirely. I think we're being observed by Ty today.
I have a feeling as well.
I'm just going to say good luck.
And we most likely will have our overhead observer as well.
Good luck, observing team.
Yes.
You'll need all 3 of you on this one.
I think they need more than that.
You need 10 observers.
I think they need to get all the observers in the scene out for this one.
Okay, 2-0 to Wolves. We're heading back down to church. We've just had a very quick technical rehost, and we're back in with the game. How long we're in until we're inside and finding a fight, I guess only time will tell, because Wolves have decided they want to just go to the site.
Yeah, I mean, it's the objective, right? They're playing for the objective and nothing else than that. They're just like, you know what? How many rushes can we make succeed in this game? Can we go for all 6? Go for the full 6 rush round win? Big question mark there. Chiefs don't. Looking to stop them from doing so. as they will be setting up once again. Already on that castle. It's going to try and slow them down a little bit there. Now, I was going to say, there's a fuse, but it got repicked out to the Yana. So, I was going to say, fuse is normally an operator that is a bit for slower kind of rounds. But yeah, it's gone again.
It's gone. It's off. I mean,
so is the third
If
one.
anything, with how quick they've been pushing towards the site, the worry is that the fuse would accidentally just kill a Wolves player inside the site already.
So, oh, okay, they did go for the ace in the end. For a second there, I was afraid that we're not going to go for any heart breach, and then I was like, all right, that means that another rush is going to be inbound, but Shinka eventually will be re-picking into that one there. And that means they have an opportunity to open up what seems to be a potentially dirt tunnel and kitchen, or Mowgli and Rise just instantly go for the hunt here. They're going downstairs. They're not even focusing on the bar here.
It's Loon's birthday. Stop giving us so much stress. Wolves are inside the site. Rise swings round, gets dropped. Boydie finds one and finds the second. Stacked up, and there's pressure on Dirt. There's 3 and 4. Suddenly, Chiefs have been able to get a massive handle on this round. Shinka is all alone within the blink of an eye. At least puts down one, but quickly picked back up. And Chiefs find their first.
Now, if you're new to Siege, I'm terribly sorry.
Imagine if this was your first game of Siege.
You're not going to be getting a good feel of how the game works here. Because these two teams, let's just paint that picture. If you're new, you have no clue what's happening. And you're like, why are these rounds so quick? You have 3 minutes. They're not even using anything close to that. There's nothing that will... Like, you don't get points for the 6th Invitational on the back of this game. You don't get a seeding place. You don't get extra prize money if you win this one. All it is just having a good time, because both these teams will be departing back home. Whether or not they stay to watch the event, I have no clue. But they will not be competing anymore at the end of this game. So it's their last. And no matter what happens, it won't affect them at all. So they're just going to be seeing what they can get away with. Can we go for these quick rushes that we have been seeing from Wolves? How many can we make succeed? Well, so far 2 out of 3. That's a pretty good record, in my opinion.
So in usual online play, most stats are tracked by a person, a human being does a lot of stat tracking. In LAN, we can use APIs, and I think even the API is sweating, trying to keep up with...
I mean, the game was sweating. It just decided to... Everybody's there. There is a diffuser.
The API is like, please slow down.
It's
I can't
calculating.
track this.
Wasn't able to quickly found a solution for the question posed by the server there. Is the round over? I have no clue. It's going so fast.
Okay, well, we now
there they go again.
Here, once again, P4 and Rise creeping their way down around Dirt. Worthy is close and will hear this. Sees the drone, actually. They might try and pre-fire their way back through. You can see that they're a bit concerned about the pressure. Ethan's tapped and ready to rock and roll out this window. He's waiting for the audio, and well, I don't think he had it over the gunfire, so he just missed that player. Slink and slip their way up to the top floor. Wolves, they, I think, realize they're not going to go in through there, so have pulled themselves back round towards it, and P4 is now the one that might find himself suddenly chanced on by a DMR that can hit like a truck, and we've seen it hit like that in those hands. He's on drone. Oh, Ethan. P4 is tucked around on a corner. They're trying to find this loose player, but the longer he sits there, the longer he's unchecked, the more of a menace he can be.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, definitely so. He's going to be able to quite put many bullets towards his way. There it is. Gets that kill. Instantly drops the hatch. Finds the door, and he's like, might there have been someone down here in that basement? Let me just send a couple of shots down range and see if I catch off anybody. Not the case eventually, but an entry kill is there for the side of Chiefs, and I believe that's the 3rd one, the 4th one even in this matchup.
Well, that's it. He was waiting patiently for the audio, and I guess he heard it round on the P4's second swing. As we said, he was sat on that window for the whole time. Missed the first rappel because of the gunfire, but caught the second swing round. Bibu, he's getting himself some control here over construction. Obviously, the site is the top floor, and Ethan's still playing the roam and the slow approach round on the other side. He's causing trouble, being a menace, as I said before. Got himself a rotate and tried to catch Bibu there outside as well. Bibu, he sort of tucked himself in close to the wall. He's making sure he doesn't risk it here. Are you going to go for the punch and the drop out? There's the punch, there's the jump, there's the miss. They just slip on by. Bibu's in the sight with a shotgun. The American
What?
build is able to get one.
What?
Gets two. No, it was Shinka. Got the pick up, bouncing, bites back. The kid is cold. They're moving in and amongst the smoke. Mowgli's going big, gets the down on the player. There's one at the bottom of the garage, gets the fight back. 2 versus 1. Rise. All that's left. Ethan's on one side, taking a huge amount of damage. They're going to stack back up and make sure they get the trade from underneath. Kit is above with him, so he can try and formulate something, but instead he's going to see if he can utilize the sledge, as the bulletproof gave a lot of the game away. Now it's gone. Instead, bought them at least 10 seconds to try and play around with it. Where's the kit going down there? Do they know? Sounds like they're trying to find it out. It doesn't quite have the angle. He planted in a bit of an off spot and pre-fired and almost found the kill. There's the down.
Yes, go for the hammer.
There's the hammer. The grenade round onto the far side is just going to bounce it, hoping to get it. Doesn't have any more, but they've hopped out the window. They're going for the swing. Just didn't get the catch of the wing. The pre-fire. It's in. It's out. It's home.
He gets it.
Ethan with the triple kill.
We did see the hammer kill come through, so, you know, if you had any of that on your bingo card for this major here, there it is. You can now cross it off.
Bonk.
We've seen the Kavera, we've seen the bonk coming through, we've seen these crazy clutches and comebacks as well, but it's a 2-2 and the Chiefs. They managed to equalize the scoreline here, and round 5 seems to be underway. The bonk on the replay indeed. Rise unable to eventually find that last kill. Tried to go. there is smiles on the Chiefs as well. But they see this as a good opportunity to take a win here against the Wolves. At least some points. That's what they want as well. And bar stage is where they're going next.
That's 2 in a row. We've had 3 plants over 4 rounds, and one of them was a defuse. So at this point, it's still been this sort of back and forth game, be it a chaotic one. It is a technical back and forth. We have, obviously, this is a game of 10 great players. Mowgli's just laughing through the team talk.
What does Bibu do? Is he eating? Can we go to Bibu's cam? I was wondering if he's...
I think he's got like
he got a towel.
It was
but
like a hand towel.
It was looking like he was cutting the cake or something.
Maybe they are eating the cake. Maybe he's a bit too warm. It was hilarious.
Oh, it's a tactical timeout.
Yeah, it was a tactical.
Yeah, it might be a cake tactical timeout. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you gotta celebrate. Or you can. It's good to see them in good spirits.
It definitely is.
It's great to see them.
Chiefs almost sending one of his own members down.
Hopefully Chiefs get cake.
Hopefully they get a slice as well for this one.
Yeah. Because it's not a birthday party if everybody at the party doesn't get cake.
There's a lot of people here, Amy.
Yeah, but not everybody's in this game.
That is very true.
We're technically above this game because we're watching, but they're in the game.
Like the eyes from above.
Yeah. The observers should get cake. They're in the game.
They're in the game as well, yeah. We're just the third, like a second party, really. It's like we just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Second party coming in.
2-2. We find ourselves here back and forth, still in a state of delirium, and, well, Wolves, what are you going to do this time? It's a rabid pack, and they've made sure that they're determined to try and get themselves driven towards the site as quickly as possible, multiple different times. We're hearing the hot pepper of shotguns. I'm looking over the lineup in the guns of P4 across the board in particular because he's the one that's often found his route through, but it doesn't seem like Wolves are going for the same sort of lead-in. They break the castle, the connection on the main stairs on the far side. You can see the bit of width as Mowgli might be coming in from the bottom of garage, where he's sort of isolated and alone on the far side, but if you're trying to take the site, you want control of at least construction, maybe bedroom.
Yeah, for sure. And as we do continue to strip gets droned out, P4 will find out that is going to be clear. They're looking to find himself a little bit of an entry there as the rest of Wolves is starting to stack themselves up as well above on the gym and bedroom area as far as the eventual site. That means they still need to descend, but it often starts with taking control of construction and other areas that do have some verticality. And he said there might be no rushes, but I do see 3 people just holding CCTV window here. They might be very afraid of someone coming there. They might also just all be jumping in the window at the very same time. You never really know it in a game like this.
I think
Wordy, don't do this. There's 3 people watching you.
I mean, that's it. Worthy, he's able to put the scrap into one. Rise takes a lot of damage. Worthy pulls back. They sort of open that up and cause a bit of fear. You can see he's looking towards the angle. They're isolating this rotation, but somebody's actually just rotated back. They've doubled down, stacked themselves inside. Here's a third body, and there's almost a catch. Yeah, bouncing. gets the kill somehow. Hopping over with the UMP is able to find one. Worthy's now stacked up with 2 people to support him. And look at Bibu. He's putting pressure inside above. Mowgli's there as well. They're just going to pull themselves away. Maybe hand over this verticality because they've already got the body and done a huge amount of damage. And the site, as we all know, is down below. That was a lot of bullets. I'm not sure if that was opening the angle or trying to find the mute jammer and just mad that someone shot it before you.
Could be. I'm not quite sure. I mean, this game doesn't really make too much sense at all.
No.
Anyway, I mean, it's starting to make a little bit more sense now with the Wolves. They get a ping, they get a kill, and that brings it back to a 4-4. Small Woo is being let out as well as a result of that one. Not that it was such a close one, but it's always good to get a kill here on this stage. 40 seconds on that clock. Worthy still upstairs, looking to go for a potential flank. Maybe wants to pick up some kill, find some Wolves to take out as well. Gets a little bit of help from Bodhi. That is moving in as well. It's going to be coming close around the corner here with the SMG. That tries to hold the close angle, hoping someone walks right into it.
All right, 15 seconds. I think we're going to have to start to see some bit of pace here, which is strange to say for this game for Wolves. They're dropped in. Shinka has the kit. They're going to potentially just tuck in on the close corner here. Drop the camera. Where are you going to go, Shinka? Well, he doesn't seem to know. There's on the bar. Look at Digital, though. Going around with the rotation. A single pop from Bouncing gets the kill. And it's suddenly a round that ends with time. If you would have told me after round, I don't know, the round just before, if we were going to have a timeout round, I probably would have said no.
Yes, at the time, it's seeming to go back to, what was it? Old Vitality, waiting 20 seconds into the round end before they do decide to go for a bit of an execute there. So, you know, how before they got picked up by Wolves, they showed off every single jersey they have ever played for. They might be trying to use a strategy for every single team they've ever played for now to give them the complete collection of it. But Chiefs leading right now, 2-3. Will be going for their very last defensive round, and it will be in church. They've been able to win it before, lost it once as well. Plans came down at that moment in time. There was some kills that came through from Garage, but the rest of the Wolves just decided to take the side instead. We're successful at that. And now the Chiefs, leading by 1 round, are still looking for their first points. They look to be in a pretty good position to try and find them here against the Wolves.
All right, Wolves, can you find yourself a bit of balance here? Chiefs, can you give yourself the 4-2 split? A bit of a change of play and pace. They've got the Thatcher, so they can maybe try and drive themselves through towards the mute jammer, towards the mirror windows. Bouncing's locked in as well here with those ADSs, so they could roll it onto the back of the heavy machinery and lob a grenade over the top to clear it all out. A lot of combos when a Thatcher's on the board and how you want to be direct. Wolves love being direct, especially in this game, more than maybe any other team in any other game this competition. Mowgli with the pressure here and the droning ahead through onto Lounge. Bouncing's on the backside, waiting around Adam. Could swing his way down the stairs, but he was just holding on to give the cover of Ethan for the rotate.
Will be falling back himself now as well, and 2 minutes 30 on the clock. It seems like the majority of the top floor and the middle floor has been gained by the side of Wolves, and some pressure is being put up yet again. Mowgli gets a beautiful headshot there into Bouncing. It's going to be opening up the scoreline with the first entry kill that will be going Wolves' way. And with that, looking to try and find more, see if they can equalize the scoreline here, put themselves into a 3-3 position at the end of the day. And after that, go to the defense themselves. See if there is going to be plenty of opportunities for them to lock it off there.
Well, they have this drive towards the back. Mowgli wants to see if he can apply this pressure, as I said, but that's still on the board. You have options. Just saw a sliver of a player. They're not going to probably peek again. Give Mowgli a taste, and it's very often he'll try and take a full bite. He has been known to have a huge effect, not only in this tournament, but in the games he's contributed to in the reason that they're here. Rise over the top. This is a more familiar Wolves take, spread out, structured, and a steady approach towards the site. They've done the clearance on the top 2 floors. Now as they start trying to open up the hatches, well, they're seeing if they can at least get a loose bit of a player. There's more of a dabble in a fight here. Mowgli just over the stretch towards that player on that back bit, that hefty bit of utility. The slow creep, the barbs is going to give...
It's been destroyed.
Yeah, I was going to say, just saw the end of it, been destroyed there. He's waiting for a bit of a push instead before it. There's the drone, there's the take. Somehow able to pop off one with the big LMG. There's a second. Mowgli moves on the smoke for the third. They're locked in around the corner over the shield and does an ADS a quad. Is he going to get the ace connection? He knows where the player is. It's an ace for Mowgli.
A little bit of a hip fire here, a little bit of a wall bang over there, and trying to move in as he does. An ace to get the 3-3 on the board. The Wolves equalize that score. And now we'll be heading over towards the defense themselves for their potential last 6 rounds of this tournament. Go to OT. There might be 9 in total. So there could be a lot more shenanigans that will be shown here. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not that indeed will be the case. The Chiefs now onto that attack are going to be trying to at least bite back instantly and make sure they take the advantage as they go.
3-2-3. Chiefs, can you try and put a little bit more into the second half, into your attacks? Try and lock out the Wolves. Wolves! Oh, I'm curious what you're going to do here, because obviously when you opened this game, it was in a fun, fantastical way. It started to become a little bit more familiar territory, but now we're on an even half. It's like we're restarting the game anyway, so I just expect something, you know?
Expecting it indeed. The Wolves, however, ever since that tactical timeout have slowed it down a little bit more. Maybe Luna's like, all right, for my birthday, please play a bit more seriously. Let's just win instead. See if we can get those final 3 points on the board. And with that, they'll be looking for them now. Same for Chiefs, though. Still looking for the first points here in the tournament. Shinka playing in that dirt tunnel might be challenged very soon by Boyd, but also CCTV looking to be opened up here by Digital and Bouncing being close. I mean, the Wolves are very spread out, and so is the Chiefs, so it's kind of hard to tell where the first fight will actually take place.
I think that's the stack up here. You've always got that big spread of these rosters. They have Club, and Club itself is a map that, as we've said many, many times, offers a structure towards the approach and boxes you've got to tick, but at the same time, when you have rosters like this, where there is a good spread of killers, well, killing may happen anywhere. Mowgli is the first off the board. A nice shot against Ethan, who was able to take the kill with the gun that, to be fair, Mowgli just got an ace with, so it's fair that somebody else is able to swing it around the map as well as he can.
Is that now the call for Ethan to get an ace of his own right here against the Wolves? I mean, he's one in with that gun. It's definitely going to be an opportunity to find more. Only 22 bullets left, though, so we'll have to reload soon. Not something you say very often in this current meta with the LMGs that are about. T4 going for a very long run through the strip. Now looking to go for a potential run out. Has some impacts. Could be using it on the wall itself to find Ethan, who's opening up that front door here. And trying to slowly rotate towards the garage side of things.
All right, just over a minute 20 left on the clock here, and they're still just trying to find, as I said, some semblance of control. They're looking for a bit of a take onto the far side around the garage, but you may as well get the clarity here on this other side too, because that's the drop that you have onto this site. You have to sort of throw yourself in on a couple of different angles because it's so wide, it's so vast. If you funnel on just one of at least the 4 choices available to you from the 2 of the hatches, 3 if you count blue alongside it, and then obviously dirt, you'll probably find yourself gutted. Ethan is in a bit of an aggressive position, holding on for the even more aggressive player around on strip, but it's Bibu that takes out Worthy, gets the opener here. Or the opener since the long ago opener.
Yes, before
it's been a while.
Being held off and will be picked up as well. Double kill for Ethan, so he's into 5th of the way through of the ace to get a finger follow-up one. Just a holding very open angle there, so we have created a bit of damage onto the structure that is set up around the side. There is going to be a injure and kill onto Ethan, so no ace for him. He will be traded out, however, and the Chiefs will continue to be 1 man ahead of the Wolves here, looking for their 4th round and make sure the Wolves won't be able to get it.
Barely any time along smoke. They're just going for the plant tucked in on the side of Church. He doesn't quite have the angle. Do they know? Well, they know that there's someone holding down either side of the rotator post plant and a lockdown on the corridor. Quite get the full connection there. Rise. That's the thing with this gun. If you go with the SMG, you do not have a lot of bullets to work with. You're going to have to isolate this into 2 fights. It is awkward and uncomfortable, especially when you're up against an LMG that can take as many fights as it wants. Chiefs with a plant, they find themselves 1 round ahead.
Needing to find 2 more to pick up some points, 3 more to find a victory here at the Major. And whereas, of course, it will not really matter for Wolves if they win or lose this one, neither for Chiefs. I think it's always nice to at least have a victory before you depart from one of
I
the
mean,
tournaments.
it's nice.
It's nice to
You
have.
would want it.
You do not want to go home with 0 points if you have the
Yeah.
opportunity, especially not as Chiefs have been able to get so close time and time
They
and
have.
time again. Just a couple of rounds away from finding points, potentially OT, potentially even a victory against the teams in their group. And now in the lead again here on Clubhouse. Onto their attack. Worked out quite well in the first. Let's see if they can keep that up.
Wolves. Now it's starting to turn into a little bit more of a longer engagement. It doesn't quite have the same ferocity as the start of what you're able to pull together before, but I mean, there's always growth. There's always an opportunity. They're a team that's used their time up. They're a team that often has a bit of fire in their conversation, regardless of whether they're celebrating a birthday and seeing what happens or just going elsewhere. That's sort of that break here. P4, we see him time and time again be a huge vocal voice at bringing Wolves back into a game.
For sure. They're trying to get back in, potentially get back in. Also some late reinforcements done by Biwa, but they're quite safe. He's not really in a direct line of sight that could be shot at. It's of course playing around with the Echo drone. I was wondering for a second if we saw that hatch open up. Did you see it pop out to the top and get some information as it goes in and out? But opening will be made on the side of CCTV. No reinforcements out there, so free information, free ground given to the side of Chiefs.
Now getting the Echo drones in a position to stop the plant on that close wall, as well as that intel on the players that might try and dive a little bit deeper onto the stair set. Chiefs are setting themselves up wide, as I said before. If you're trying to take over this, most standard approaches come in from the CCTV cache side. They'll try and get control of construction, a bit of bedroom, and just force them out and then go vertical. That seems like what Chiefs are doing. They're going for this standard approach across the face, across the bow of the hole. They're going to put in the pressure and potentially try and get a plant down onto the stage itself. A lot of hard destruction, as you do on this map, and with a lot of grenades, they might be able to start trying to long arm some pressure.
For sure, they need to find an opening here, and with an opening literally made by a heart breach gadget of the exothermic onto the construction side of things, they will be looking to take that under control as well, because the hatch is absolutely crucial for defenders if you want to go for a plant onto the stage area. So with that being opened up, there is a long angle that can be held to stop them from retaking that control. There is, however, Bouncing, who gets that kill onto Mowgli. It's an important kill. It is going to be one player up on that top floor gone. It's the Bandit. It is one of the top performers of the Wolves that is currently out of play. And with that, Chiefs lead one again.
I mean, after getting an ace, he's been the first death twice in a row now without really having an impact on the round itself. So you sort of want to see where he can go on this defense so far, because the only place has been to the wrong side of the scoreboard in the top right. There's the air jab, there's one, there's two, it's a team kill! Shinka got Rise in the midst of it, a rotate, and there's Bouncing, find a P4, technical triple is his across the board, but one of them was a bit of blue on blue deep. It's Bibu trying to find anything from this. It's a sudden 5 versus 1, I don't think he expected, but Chiefs are gonna make the most of it. The kit is being put down, it's a ping, but there's nothing else you can do there.
Nothing indeed. That was able to happen. The air jab there was like, all right, I'm going for the swing. The team kill comes in and just cleans up onto the Orcs in the back of it. And with that, Chiefs now 3-5, still in that lead. Looking to extend a little bit as well, as you see it on your screens on the replay. Now a triple kill coming in. Now 2 rounds away for Chiefs to find a first win, and 1 round away from picking up a point. That is going to be that first goal, that first hurdle. Get to 6 before you get to 7.
Chiefs, you are as close as you have ever been, but in the best position you've been here before. You've gotten to 5 rounds twice before, but that was it, and it was usually on the back foot, trying to find your way back into a game. Here, you now have a 2-round lead. You just need 1 more to outperform anything and actually pull a point. Get off. Big old goose egg of 0 and have something else to your name. Here, Wolves, well, obviously nothing's going to change in terms of the scoreboard, but it was a handy victory for you last time here round. You were able to take this as some of the points that got you to 3rd, and yet here unable to cement them as the 2nd time round.
Again, it's important to mention that while Wolves, they started off a little bit rough with some quick rushes.
A little bit bold.
A little bit bold, a little bit explosive with 4 rushes in a row, of which 2 actually succeeded. But there's nothing really at stake for them here. I mean, they've got their win. They're just about to have the party, the birthday party of Liloon after this one as well. Just trying to, reward it with a bit of a victory to end it all with. The Chiefs, still very hungry for points here, are looking to just fight back harder than Wolves currently can.
Mowgli, as I said before, after the ace, he's been unfortunately a little bit quiet, a little bit caged. He hasn't really been able to explore the game as much as he could. Twice, and two different people have been able to find him as that opening pick. You can see Chiefs aren't sort of playing around. They're not overextending. They know the danger of coming up against Wolves. Something we talked about before. Both rosters have a lot of capable guns and gunners. There's never really a single player that's too far behind the movement momentum of that frag game across both sets. And here it seems like Chiefs just have a little bit more of a five-handed slap across the face of their French opponents.
3-5 scoreline. It keeps on ringing in your ears. There's bouncing comes in, takes a small amount of damage, but the kill not quite connected yet. Mowgli elsewhere as well takes that damage for the side of Wolves. Openings are being made, but they still need to be headed towards the gym side of things. And with 100 seconds left on the clock and an RCE that now comes through, it forces P4 to stick in a little bit more into the cash room.
It's always so funny when it reveals the location of the drone on the far side, but at that point, the destruction's already been done. There's a little bit more swing round to get that drone, the reveal of the player, and BB gets Ethan. There it is, for the first time in a couple of rounds, and the first time on defense, Wolves are able to get that opening pick, and they can try and push that advantage. Mowgli, unfortunately, once again finding himself on the wrong side of the guns, but P4's there to offer some support with Rise rising up on the other side. Now, he's still holding in close quarters here, just over a minute left, and he's going to find his position a little bit more dangerous. As the wall starts to get a little bit thinner, the space a little bit tougher to control, they're able to pick Mowgli back up, and ooh, cheeky take there from Digital behind the back. There's a quick response though. Bibu swings round. Worthy is all that's left right now of trying to secure Chiefs that map point. He's still got 4 players to get through and only 40 seconds to do it.
I mean, there's plenty of time. I don't just think there is any of these 1v1s to be given. Well, gets one. There's still 2 players inside a cache that he needs to be locking out, and a third one that is looking to be quite close. Mute Gemmer to be removed. It's not going to be hurting them too much now. It's just Worthy left. He doesn't really have anything that can be done in terms of electronics. Of course, the breaching charge, but that won't be the decisive factor here. Goes outside towards the highway. Knows that a head is coming towards his direction. He's being hunted down by these players as he jumps back in. He's hoping to find the kill, but with 8 seconds left on the clock, it's just not going to be happening here. B4 with a drop shot will be able to get that final kill, and Wolves are now on 4 as well.
Well, they finally found a defense. They find on the third one. It's Gym, where they lock themselves in here. They're still in high spirits, and well, there's still a couple of rounds left of this game to go at least. Church and Arsenal is where we're going to head back down towards, and obviously this was where they were able to pull off a plant and get a pretty solid lock in here. They just tucked it on the close corners onto Church. It was a bit back and forth. A couple of engagements go the other way, and it is a Wolves round. It wasn't quite like the swing round onto Bar when suddenly it was all OCE across. There was still some French resistance here down last time, and let's see if they can try and storm the Bastille.
As the option, indeed. Are they going to be able to get that one under control? Play a good siege. Or actually prevent the siege from happening on the side of Wolves.
Yeah, you prevent the siege, I guess.
The Wolves prevent that siege.
You de-siege.
The Chiefs want to make sure that they are bringing freedom to the people.
How much history can we cram in here?
I don't know how far back do we want to go?
Oh, not
do we
very
want
far
to go to the war from Australia against the emus?
5 seconds.
No. I don't know enough about history
we don't do it.
without Miloš. Probably upsetting Miloš.
I wonder he's going to be watching right now and he hears this and he's like, actually, the emu war, it's going to be giving you an entire lesson about it. And correct as well.
4-5. I'll leave that to him. I'll just talk about the game of Siege that we have in front of us. And Chiefs, they are cautious on their approach time and time again. They make sure they have all the intel they want. You can see Wolves is trying to stretch that this time around. They have the players playing towards the top, and they're sort of forcing the full clear. They played around with the full clear last time, but it wasn't too much of a lean back in from Wolves outside of the very early pick onto Mowgli, who was caught, I'm not going to say unawares because I don't quite remember the engagement, but he was caught quite early. Enough that almost about 2 minutes passed between that and the next person who got into an engagement. So this time Wolves have a little bit more stacked support. And actually, a huge take. Rise, who was that last body left last time, is going to be the first through here.
It's a cheeky little headshot there on the side of Bouncing, who was just hanging from the balcony there. Small bit of damage done towards Rise, but he'll just fall back. Nothing really too hurt for him. I mean, they got the entry kill. They got that one going their way, and with that, a 5v4 now on the board, on the cards here for the side of Wolves. Looking to bring it back to a 5-5. Looking to find and potentially put themselves onto match point before Chiefs cap.
Boydie, he's getting himself a bit of this control. As we said, it's still the standard and the default. You have a lot of time left to try and focus in and laser down towards the site and the take here itself. Prepping for anyone that might be rotating out and round. You have some of the clarity. You know that they've been playing aggressive, but they have generally pulled themselves back. Man advantage is in the favor, and as we said before, it's a very wide site. It is a huge plethora of ideas and entrances that you have to make sure you have under your control, and you can do that. This is the traditional way with all the players down here. The pressure's going to start to come through if they can get rid of that. The impact actually stops it before the mute jammer is taken care of. Clever.
For sure, yeah, you got to make sure that you stop these heart breach gadgets from going through. And as a result of it, I mean, they cannot use the Selmas anymore to open up any of the hatches. Exothermics are gone as well. Heart breach gadgets as well. So I hope they open up all these hatches. I think they have. And as they're starting to get close, well, they need to waste those Surya laser gates. With 30 seconds left on the clock, they will not be reactivated anymore. A drop is coming in very soon right here. The question is Chiefs going to be able to pull this one off? Or is the Wolves going to be able to put themselves in 5 as well?
Ethan puts it into a 4 versus 4 with a grenade there onto Bibu. Then as a backline player gone, the flashes are going to try and cook out and burn this. They're able to pop that shield, but it's Ethan locking in for one more. The kit gets round the corner. They've got the ping. They know where he is, but the cover is there. B4, he goes deep, deep, deep. He's able to find the kill onto the kit. He makes it cold. They can't get it in time. And we are back level pegging.
A little bit too late of a drop of the player up on top of the kitchen hatch for the cover there. As soon as that first player fell, you knew the diffuser was going to get taken out. You knew you would have to go back in to try and pick it up, to try and plant it. And unfortunately, that timing was a little bit off there, so no opportunity to try and recover from it there. Again, the beautiful shot from Rise. Wolves able to bring it back. They have a P4, just able to get 2 of those kills. Chiefs unable to respond. Brings us to this 5-on-5, and suddenly we are in a bit of a sprint. The last 2 rounds, are we going to OT? Is it going to be a Wolves win? Or is it going to be a Chiefs win? We have 3 different possibilities in just these 2 rounds. And even though the game has been chaotic, even though it doesn't really mean that much anymore for standings, both these teams are still fighting for the win, as any competitor ever should. And a big question just will be, which will walk away with it? Is Chiefs going to be able to walk away with a point? Maybe more. Or is the Wolves going to be denying that? Or are the Wolves going to be denying them? Now, technical timer will soon end. 45 seconds in total is what they have to talk.
They do that.
And as I see, the timer starts to run again on my right-hand side screen.
Well, they don't see the right-hand side.
They don't, but that's what I'm telling them.
The people at home, the wonderful people at home, or they might be watching the stream somewhere else, I don't know. If maybe we're on in a bar.
Wherever you are.
There might be a bar that we're on.
Could be. Or on the way to work, depending on where you are
At
in
the
the
gym.
world. Or at work, that could also be the case.
At
your grandma's house.
Grandma loves Siege.
Yeah, exactly.
Plays
Tell
in
her
this.
exactly how this game works. And
Yeah.
try and recruit her into your rank stack.
Bar. And bar. Bar and States is where we're going to head
Yeah.
on to next. The changed up site. There's still this sort of traditional, I'm going to say it, traditional take here from Chiefs. They're playing with the double hard destruction. They've got everything that you kind of need and kind of want. It's the sort of lineup where if you're in a ranked stack, you're like, yep, please bring this. It's Club. Club is that, though. Club is that essence of do the game and play the game how it should be played, and you'll often find success. It's sort of defined by it as a map, and Wolves, when they were going out with a little bit more of a depth charge of ideas, they found it sometimes a dud.
Located by attackers.
Yeah, for sure. And now I've decided to actually bring in quite a diverse operator lineup. We have Forex, you know, the Ramadash coming in based on the agility and speed, being able to jump up hatches, for example, and, you know, knock over these shields. And the Vigil relying on the stealth of the Echo purely for the denial of a potential plan to come through. And with that, Wolves can play many different kind of games in this round. Depending, of course, on which one they eventually want to settle with.
I mean, there's so many different games.
There's so many different games you can play with this, with all the operators around here. I mean, you can go info heavy, you can go just denial, you can just do that. You can plan denial. You know, there's many different ways you can lock in your operator lineup.
Many different doors, Ed Boy. Just past the 2-minute marker here, and everybody's still standing. Mowgli sort of learned a lesson about being an early body off. We commented on it before, and well, he's obviously picked up on it too. He's keeping himself at arm's length. Usually, over the past couple rounds at least, there's been a different member of Wolves that's been that first point, and they've found, over the past couple rounds at least, 2 successes. Here, though, he's unfortunately back in. I talk about it, and it goes the wrong way for him. He's removed. The Vigil is caught out. And that gives Worthy one more tick in that box. P4 is tucked behind the heavy gym equipment. We see some damage done. He pre-fires, but bouncing. Pre-fires back. He gets one. Shinker at least stems the flow, but it's Digital that puts it back in. He gets dropped, traded off. Rise and Bibu, the 2 historic players, go for a rotate round. Remember where the site is. It's not that top floor.
No, it's not the top floor. It's also not the bottom floor that Rise is currently heading back to there. It's going to be the bar in between.
He's going dirt.
Yeah, he's going dirt.
He's going to try and get a punch hole to see if somebody's repelling.
I hope. Doesn't seem to be the case. No, there is still someone out there, so needs to be very careful to not step backwards too much. And soon Rise will realize, okay, the balcony seems to be clear. Don't really have to be here anymore as grenades are being pulled out. There is an Echo still on the board. The Yokais could be used for plan denial. And look at that. They're spotting them. They can just see them inside the construction with this Yokai drone, so Biba will be making the call like, hey, it is time to fall back.
I mean, 20 seconds left and you got an Echo on the board. Sometimes it spells a bit of worry here. That wall's still locked. You can hear the smokes popping. Bibu himself.
Oh, no way that got through.
Oh, he just popped it instantly. Oh, he just kind of spent the load a bit quick there. Rise on the rotate round over the top. He's going to throw the impact. There's a player. There's the drop on the kit. 4 seconds. There's a catch again. He has the verticality. Wolves. Oh, no.
And Rise, the experienced player he is, knew exactly what the plan was going on because they saw that with their Yokai drone. Yes, of course, he sent out that Sonic Burst a bit too early. There was no plan going through yet, but to be fair, he drove underneath the feet of 2 of those players. They should have been aware that Yokai drone was there. They were going to be hunting it, so better just get that stun in, blur that vision, get the information, and allow Rise to do his thing. Get that impact in, get the kill, drop the diffuser, and find a second one of that as well. And now, Chiefs, you're at a point where you might be without points.
I mean, it's still another game where they've put in a great fight, but just here, just that last step has unfortunately mounted the worst thing possible. Pressure, and it is a consistent. It's always one of the toughest things, is the hardest round to get. It's, for any team, it's either the first one or the last one. It's either the final step into a game or your first one. Everything in the middle, that's race car driving.
It definitely is. It's like riding a bike, right? It's getting up or getting off. That is like the most difficult part of it. But as soon as you get going, you are going.
Yeah.
And now Chiefs, they just need to find that final station. They need to find that final round to pick up their only point so far here at the Charlotte Major. And then they will be going to OT. There will be an opportunity for 2. There will be a possibility for a win. But the Wolves are looking like they want to lock it off here. They're looking like they want to eat that birthday cake that Liloon has gotten. And will they, is the big question. Because there is about 2 minutes and 30 left on the clock.
Well, quick entrance here from Bouncing. He's going to try and find his way. Oh, I was going to say up, but then he remembers to put one of the Claymores down at the top of the ladder because, well, the big rotate there was what just cost the Chiefs. The Wolves were able to get themselves into 2 tricky situations. People on the back line with the cameras, and obviously the top floor retake that was massive from Rise. Here, Wolves, they just need to have one more connection go their way, and they lock out the 3 points. Chiefs, same thing, but they can lock in at least their first. Digital takes a huge amount of damage, and was just a bit of a scrappy spray through. Yeah, under the door, holding an angle, pre-fire. Didn't quite get the full connection. Ethan, he's trying to offer some support. The players have otherwise pulled away. They know they've put a bit of the fear into them, and they're going to happily let that stew.
Almost was the entry kill there, but instead dealt a lot of damage, forcing him to use some adrenaline surges now to get Digital back up to full, because he is that heart breach. He is necessary and needed to open up some of these walls that put them into a position where they can even enter the sides. As the last Claymore is being set down, windows are being opened up as well to maybe try and bait Wolves to go for a bit of an aggressive jump out here, but it seems like they will stay put. It seems like they will be playing this patiently here for the last 70 seconds, potentially, of their major, if they do decide to lock it off here.
Wow, here we go. The final set of seconds, and Bouncing suffers on the side of a C4 by the sounds of it. Takes a huge pop of damage. Shinka's holding on for the drop of the hatch here. They're trying to find and break their way through. Bouncing a little bit more of a suffering, but the ping of the Finker has at least gotten Digital almost back over that first line for the 2 armor.
Droned.
That's it, droned over the top. The grenade is going to do a huge amount back to Bibu. Not quite fully caught. Shinka sprays through, rises the cover. P4 with the double bouncing. He bites back the spray over the top of the window, but they can't quite get themselves all the way in, I say, as he does. A 3 versus 2. Still at least the man in their favor, but there's one over the top of the stairs. There's a bit more cementing. The kid is cold in between the 2 remaining players. 20 seconds. The onus of movement and momentum is still on their side. Wolves, they sit hushed, waiting, listening, watching Traces spray over the shoulders. Chiefs, 2 players to try and get it. P4 finds one. It's a spray. It's a Wolves win.
It is a Wolves win indeed, and with that, Chiefs unfortunately left without a victory here. They tried it again. They got close again. They found 5 rounds again. But those rounds don't give you points, they don't give you wins, they don't let you proceed towards the playoffs in the end. And of course, for both these teams, the major has ended now. But it basically ended right before this already, as both were eliminated. And the match really didn't change anything in the standings here. The Wolves will eventually still take victory. They had a bit of a interesting start to the game with some quick pace rushes coming through, with rounds taking just a minute. But with that being said, let's just toss this one to a very quick break.